Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, a giant line doesn't apply to me. Goldilocks and the hog roast hullabaloo. Oh wait, your aunt died, that's nice, get over it and do your job. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. A giant line doesn't apply to me. Went to a NYE celebration last night, big outdoor event with food trucks and amusement rides. Around 11 p.m., we get into line to get some grub. Every truck has a 10-plus person line, no biggie. Patience is a virtue. Now we've been waiting for about 30 minutes, it's nearing midnight and we haven't ordered. Still we wait patiently because there's 3 people working and they're just humans doing their best. Insert entitled woman. A lady in a fur jacket and high heels comes up to the woman in front of us, who is finally one person behind the window, and says hi. Smiley face, can I give you my money and you order my food for me? The waiting lady gives her a solid 5-second stare before responding, Nah. I've been waiting in this line for more than 30 minutes, you gotta wait too. The color drains then from fur jacket's face. Clearly she wasn't expecting a no. She then awkwardly scurries off to the side, and was throwing a bit of a fit with her husband how she's hungry and it's almost midnight. Later, after we order and step off to wait, she is at the back of the line holding a sign an employee gave her that says end of the line. Ha ha. She had to wait and was given a job to do. Love it. The sign holding thing is new to me. Sounds like the same type of thing cashiers put at the end of conveyor belts in supermarkets before they close up. In this case, it is like a sandwich board of shame. I started seeing end-of-line signs in outdoor events with food trucks when the pandemic abated. I think it's great because it gives the workers an idea of how long the line is, and it gives the unhappiest person in line something that feels like control. Our local Best Buy, on Black Friday, has an employee holding a balloon bouquet, establishing the end of the line. Amen. I would have said, okay, that will be $500. I've never heard of anyone holding a sign before. Maybe a stanchion with a sign on the last post saying line up here. Or something like that. The line was super long, and we were maybe 10 minutes away from midnight when we got our food, so I'm guessing it was the business way of cutting the line so they can close on time. Goldilocks and the hog roast hullabaloo. In the spirit of sharing and gift-giving, my friends Belle and Adam have shared a story involving dependopotamuses, Mustangs and a woman with sticky fingers. Our story takes place in the summer of 2006. Belle and Adam were living in a cul-de-sac of about 10 houses, mainly inhabited by officers and their families. As it was the season of grilling, BBQs and backyard shenanigans, the entire neighborhood decided to host a block party. It was a potluck in BYOB. The rule being bring enough for everyone. The host of the block party was a Mustang named Patterson. He's from the Carolinas and one of their specialties is the whole hog roast. He managed to get 3 whole hogs and roasted them on a property of a friend, where he had the space to do so, basting the meat with his own special barbecue sauce. The recipe, which, according to Belle, was probably the most secure secret in the country. Unfortunately, Patterson's mother, Goldilocks, was staying with him and his family for a week. She proceeded to wear out her welcome on the first day, using her son's rank to get whatever she wanted. She was a graded dependopotamus, entitled, nasty, rude, abusive to her family and just about as pleasant as a case of Montezuma's Revenge. No matter how much Patterson explained to her that it could damage his career, Goldilocks never seemed to listen. The night before the party, Patterson told his mother that she was one offense away from being sent away. So it's the day of the party and everyone is lounging around on deck in camping chairs, having drinks, talking and waiting for the meat to finish heating up. As everyone knew everyone and were right there, everyone's doors were unlocked. Adam went into his and Belle's house to grab some more bottles of soda from the fridge. He just expected to grab the sodas and leave. Just as he's about to get the soda, the landline in the study rings. He goes to answer it and is in the study for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. He hears the front door open and close. A few minutes later, the front door opens and closes again. He thinks it's Belle and doesn't think much of it. That's until he hangs up and goes back to the fridge. And something was missing. He and Belle had made some cheesecake to bring to the party, keeping it in a sealed container. And that was missing. He thought that was odd but grabbed the soda bottles and headed out. After loading one of the coolers with the bottles, he sought out Belle and asked her if she had gotten the cheesecake out of the fridge. Confused, Belle said, "No, I haven't." "Why?" "Because someone took out the cheesecake." Just then, one of their neighbors said, "Now that you mention it, the Tupperware container of ambrosia salad I made is also missing." Word spread faster than a wildfire and it eventually came out that everyone's house was missing something, either from the fridge or the pantry. Patterson looked around, his eyes stern. Belle asked him what was wrong. He just said, "Something I should have done a long time ago," and headed into his house. 20 minutes later, a taxi pulls into the cul-de-sac, stopping right in front of Patterson's house, which is at the end of the block. Everyone is confused when all of a sudden, they hear shouting from inside the house. And not just any kind of shouting. It's drill sergeant shouting. Goldilocks comes running out of the house, carrying her bags and looking like she had seen a ghost. Patterson is on her heels, a framed photograph in his hands. He was yelling at her, "You're never coming back here again, do you hear me? If I so much as smell one of your farts around us, you will be out of the state faster than you can sneeze." Goldilocks got into the taxi and they took off. Everyone watched as Patterson became calm and looked at everyone. "Folks, I want to apologize for my mother's behavior. As of right now, she's no longer part of my family. Now let's party like it's going out of style." A couple of days later, Belle decided to ask Patterson what happened. He revealed that Goldilocks had decided to steal food from all of the houses on the block. When he overheard the comments about the missing food, he found her throwing everything into several trash bags. It's then he called the taxi to take her to her sister's house, she lived in the same city, and confronted her. Apparently Goldilocks decided to complain about how the food wasn't good enough. He then told her she had 20 minutes to pack up and get out of his life forever or he was calling the police for theft. Goldilocks tried to gaslight him by saying, "You wouldn't leave your old mother out high and dry now, would you?" At this, Patterson had unleashed his inner drill sergeant and shut that down. He stood there, watching her pack and following her out to make sure she couldn't try anything dumb. As she was walking towards the door, she passed a framed photograph. The photograph in question was him with his grandfather, a veteran, who died shortly after it was taken. It's the only photograph of the two men in uniform. Goldilocks decided to take it. At that, Patterson had enough, snapped the photograph out of her hand and started the chew-out that everyone at the party heard. He was good to his word and had nothing to do with Goldilocks ever again. Throwing everything into several trash bags and decided to complain about how the food wasn't good enough. How does this even make sense? Mom's bonkers, JFC. She went into other people's houses and threw out the food she found in their fridges because she just knew it wouldn't be good enough. That is psychotic. Not just any kind of shouting. It's drill sergeant shouting. If you know, you know. I'm not military and I'm imagining the decibel level of being way high to be heard miles away. Whoa! Oh, your aunt died, that's nice, get over it and do your job. Cast, M, me, EC, entitled customer, AM, angry manager, NC, nice customer. For context, tonight I got a phone call from my mom who informed me that my aunt, who has always been my encouragement, has passed away. I work at a gas station and usually work 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift. I am still sad and also been crying off and on. EC, excuse me, why are you crying? Sorry, how can I help you? EC, I need gas and I am on, gives pump number I can't recall. Input the gas pump and amount onto register and try to stop sobbing. EC, look, either do your job or call a manager. I am really sorry, I just found out my aunt died and… EC, I don't care, just do the job. NC overhears and comes over, she looks at me and then EC. NC, her aunt died, have a little patience. Does the best job here. EC, oh, she's just making it up, I bet she doesn't even have an aunt. NC, yes she does, I went to high school with her, which aunt was it? I give her the name and NC hugs me. NC, if you're off at 10 p.m., I will take you home. EC rolls her eyes and goes to pump her gas. AM comes in and goes to her office to pick her stuff and finds out the news. She makes me take a 10-minute break and lets me finish crying. 10 minutes pass, come back and EC is tearing into AM. AM, wait till your relative dies and see how you like it. M has lost a sister, a beloved cat and now an aunt, yet she showed up to work. EC, crying is not working. AM, she's trying to hold herself together better than that, why don't you go to a different gas station if you don't like us? EC glares as she leaves and mutters that she hopes I get fired. I am really sorry for. AM, for what? You can't control when relatives die, EC is just a jerk. Just call if you need anything, night. NC picks me up at 10 p.m. and I head home. I am still not okay with this. So entitled customer acts like I am lying about my deceased aunt and then gets yelled at by my manager for doing my job to the best of my ability. FYI, on my father's side I have 9 aunts, the aunt who passed was my father's biological sister. I was also informed by my father's middle brother's wife, or my second aunt. To make this correct, my father has 10 siblings, this aunt was the only female. So yeah, I have 9 aunts, my dad's stepbrother is the only one not married. When I read Angry Manager, I thought you were in the dada. Sympathy for your aunt, well done for having the guts to stay and congrats and having 2 decent people around you at the time. Console yourself with the fact that the witch customer wouldn't have any of that. I love the fact that my manager knows I will show up even on the worst days. Call me crazy, but I get the feeling this woman has been ostracized by every single person in her life exactly because of her lack of empathy. As a result, she can't understand OP's reaction because she cares for precisely no one. That little rant out of your way, please accept the condolences of a stranger who would like to offer some advice. Never let anyone tell you how long you should be grieve. I've always thought one of the worst things one person can say to another is, you should be over it by now, after someone has died. If anyone tries to dictate your process, tell them precisely where they can insert their opinion and move on to doing the best you can. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.